Focus on yourself before 2026. Before 2026 arrives, you need to make one promise to yourself: this next chapter of your life will not look like the last. You've spent years giving your energy to people who didn't deserve it, chasing validation that never fulfilled you, and putting yourself last on your own priority list. But this is the moment everything changes. This is the moment you stop waiting for someone to save you and start choosing yourself with the same intensity you've given to others. Because the truth is, 2026 will not reward who you've been, it will reward who you're becoming. And right now, you are standing at the edge of the version of you who finally stops explaining, stops shrinking, stops tolerating, and starts evolving. This is your wake-up call. Your reminder that the life you want is built not by accident, but by intention. If you're ready to walk into 2026 with clarity, confidence, and a completely different level of self-focus, then listen closely. Because everything you're about to hear is the shift you've been needing. Become the person who can handle the life you're asking for. Before 2026 arrives, there is one truth you must embrace with your whole being: nothing in your life will change until you change. Not your finances, not your relationships, not your opportunities, not your circumstances, nothing. We grow up believing that life shifts when luck arrives or when someone finally recognizes our worth. But the real shift happens the moment you decide to become the version of yourself who can hold the blessings you're praying for. You have dreams that require a stronger version of you. You have goals that require discipline, patience, resilience, and a level of self-belief you have not fully stepped into yet. And that is not an insult, it's an invitation to rise, an invitation to stop waiting, an invitation to understand that every breakthrough you want is already aligned for you. But nothing can manifest until you become the person who can sustain it without collapsing under its weight. Think about the life you want: the stability, the freedom, the confidence, the relationships, the career, the peace, the abundance. Think about who you would need to be in order to handle that life effortlessly. You can't ask for emotional maturity while reacting impulsively every time someone triggers you. You can't ask for financial success while still running from responsibility. You can't ask for love while accepting bare minimum effort. You can't ask for peace while living in chaos that you refuse to walk away from. 2026 will not reward the old habits that kept you stuck. It will reward the new identity you are willing to build now. Your next chapter requires a different level of you, a level you may have been avoiding because it demands accountability, routine, sacrifice, and discomfort. But discomfort is not your enemy. Staying the same is. Becoming the person who can handle the life you want means rebuilding your foundation. It means unlearning patterns that no longer serve you, healing wounds you've buried for years, and letting go of behaviors that protect your insecurities but sabotage your future. It means choosing discipline over distraction. It means choosing growth over familiarity. It means choosing yourself over anyone who keeps you small. Before 2026, you must look at your life honestly and ask, what version of me has been running the show? And is that version capable of leading me into the life I deeply desire? If the answer is no, then your work begins now, not tomorrow, not next year. Now this is the season to build your internal architecture, the traits, habits, and mindset that shape your future. Start with discipline. Discipline is not punishment, discipline is self-respect. It is proof that you keep your promises to yourself. It is evidence that you are committed to becoming your highest self, even when it feels boring or difficult. Create routines that anchor you. Wake up earlier, move your body, clean your space, study something meaningful. Reduce your screen time. Replace comfort habits with growth habits, because the person you want to be in 2026 is built by the choices you make every day in 2025. You cannot ask for a life that requires excellence while living in autopilot. Next comes emotional mastery. You cannot keep letting your emotions drive the car. When someone disrespects you, you silence yourself. When someone leaves, you break. When something goes wrong, you collapse. That version of you cannot carry the weight of your future. You need emotional steadiness. You need self-awareness. You need to understand your triggers and your reactions so deeply that nothing outside of you can destabilize you. Strength is not loud. Strength is controlled. Strength is calm. Strength is knowing who you are even when life tests you. Before 2026, learn how to respond instead of react. Learn how to let go instead of cling. Learn how to observe instead of personalize. That is how you evolve. You must also separate your worth from people. You've spent too long giving others the authority to determine how you feel about yourself. But the life you want requires self-trust. It requires confidence that does not crumble in the presence of rejection or indifference. It requires you to validate yourself, to clap for yourself, to believe in yourself even when no one else sees the vision. Build that inner certainty. Build that inner voice that says, I can handle this. Because if you don't see your own value, the world won't either. And if you don't trust yourself, you won't take the risks required to level up. Another part of becoming the person who can handle your future is cleaning your environment. Mentally, emotionally, physically, socially. Remove the people who drain you. Remove the habits that weaken you. Remove the distractions that steal your potential. Your life cannot grow in soil that is full of weeds. And the truth is, you already know who and what those weeds are. You've known for a long time. Before 2026, you must make the difficult choice to remove anything that blocks your growth, even if it feels uncomfortable. Your future requires space. Your blessings require room. Your potential requires clarity. And lastly, you must stop underestimating your power. You have no idea how capable you truly are. You have survived things that would have broken others. You have risen from situations you never thought you would escape. You have lived through disappointments that could have destroyed your faith. You are not weak. You are evolving. And evolution requires shedding. It requires stepping into unknown territory. It requires believing in a version of you that you haven't met yet. But that version is real, and that version is ready. Before 2026 arrives, commit to the process of becoming. Commit to the identity that can hold your dreams. Commit to the habits that elevate you. Commit to the mindset that strengthens you. Commit to the boundaries that protect you. Commit to yourself with the same intensity you've given to others. Because the life you want is not waiting for someone else. It's waiting for you. And the moment you step into the version of yourself who is ready, life will meet you where you are. Let go of anyone who keeps you from evolving. Before 2026 arrives, you must accept one of the hardest truths of personal growth. Not everyone you love is meant to walk with you into your next chapter. Some people came into your life for a season, not a lifetime. Some were meant to teach you, not stay with you, and some were only aligned with the version of you that you are finally outgrowing. Letting go isn't cruelty, it is clarity, it is maturity, it is choosing your future over your attachments. Because the reality is, you cannot rise while holding on to people who are committed to keeping you small. You cannot evolve while staying loyal to your past. You cannot grow while surrounding yourself with those who fear your transformation. The person you are becoming deserves a circle that supports your elevation, not one that sabotages it. Many people around you are subconsciously invested in you staying the same. They love the version of you that is predictable, accessible, and easy to control. They love the version of you that tolerates their excuses, forgives their inconsistencies, accepts their lack of effort, and overlooks their disrespect. They love the you that bends, shrinks, softens, and sacrifices. But the moment you choose yourself, the moment you set boundaries, the moment you start protecting your energy and prioritizing your peace, they feel threatened. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your growth exposes their stagnation. And instead of rising with you, many would rather pull you back down to the level where they feel comfortable. Before 2026, you must learn to recognize these people. The ones who only show up when they need something. The ones who mock your goals because they have none of their own. The ones who drain your energy but never refill it. The ones who disappear when you're hurting but return the moment you're healing. The ones who expect loyalty from you while giving inconsistency in return. These are the people who cannot go with you into the future you're building. These are the people who will sour your blessings if you let them. You must remember, your future is not a group project. Your growth is not up for negotiation. Your peace is not something you should sacrifice for people who don't value it. Letting go is not about bitterness. It's about alignment. It's about realizing that your spirit is moving forward, and some people simply are not moving with you. You are evolving emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and internally. You are building habits, discipline, boundaries, and awareness. But if you stay surrounded by those who have no intention of improving themselves, their energy will poison your atmosphere. Their negativity will overshadow your clarity. Their complacency will suffocate your ambition. You cannot rise while staying attached to people who are afraid of heights. Letting go also means accepting that you can love someone deeply and still release them. It means understanding that holding on can hurt you more than walking away. Before 2026, you must stop confusing loyalty with self-neglect. You have stayed loyal to people who would never choose you over their own comfort. You've held on to relationships that stopped nurturing your soul long ago. You've given chance after chance to individuals who showed you who they were the first time. You've forgiven behaviors that broke your self-esteem. You've carried people who would never carry you. And now, life is asking you to choose differently. Letting go requires courage. It requires you to trust yourself enough to move forward without knowing exactly what's ahead. It requires you to believe that you deserve better connections, healthier relationships, and deeper alignment. But the moment you release the wrong people, the right people finally have room to enter your life. The moment you walk away from those who drain you, you make space for those who energize you. The moment you stop settling for half love, you open the door to love that feels complete. The moment you clear the noise, you can finally hear your intuition again. Before 2026 arrives, redefine your circle. Choose people who inspire you, not those who envy you. Choose people who celebrate your growth, not those who criticize it. Choose people who grow alongside you, not those who guilt you for changing. Choose people who speak life into you, not those who silence your potential. Your inner circle determines your direction. Your relationships influence your reality. The company you keep becomes the mirror you look into every day, and if that mirror reflects insecurity, drama, chaos, jealousy, laziness, and stagnation, eventually you'll begin resembling the very environment you hate. This is why letting go is an act of self-love. It is declaring that your future matters more than other people's comfort. It is choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, alignment over attachment. It is choosing to stop betraying yourself just to keep others comfortable. You owe it to yourself to enter 2026 lighter, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You owe it to yourself to walk into the new year with clear boundaries, clean energy, and a circle that reflects your highest self. So let this be the year you stop apologizing for outgrowing people. Stop apologizing for distancing yourself from negativity. Stop apologizing for protecting your space. Stop apologizing for choosing peace. Growth is not selfish, it is necessary. Healing is not dramatic, it is survival. Evolving is not betrayal, it is destiny. Let go of the people who keep you from evolving, because your next chapter requires you to be surrounded by people who fuel your fire, not those who extinguish it. Your future is too important. Your purpose is too significant, and your potential is too powerful to waste on relationships that do not elevate you. This is your season to walk away with grace, rise with intention, and step into 2026 with a heart that is free, a mind that is focused, and a life that is aligned with the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. Build a life that feels good internally, not one that only looks good externally. Before 2026 arrives, you must make a decision that will change the entire trajectory of your life. Stop living for appearances and start living for alignment. For too long, you've been conditioned to chase a life that looks impressive on the outside, even if it feels empty on the inside. You've been taught to measure your worth by how others perceive you rather than how you feel when you're alone with your thoughts. You've built routines that look productive but leave you drained. You've entertained people who look good beside you but feel wrong within your spirit. You've made choices based on societal expectations, family pressures, and fear of judgment rather than your inner truth. But 2026 is not the year where you continue performing. It's the year you choose authenticity over aesthetics, depth over display, peace over applause. Building a life that feels good internally means finally acknowledging the parts of your life that are silently hurting you. It means being honest about the habits that drain you, the relationships that suffocate you, and the environments that dim your light. You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. You can be successful and still feel empty. You can be admired and still be miserable. External achievements cannot heal internal wounds, and you are no longer allowed to sacrifice your inner world just to maintain an outer image. The most dangerous lie you can tell yourself is that everything is fine simply because it looks fine. To build an internally fulfilling life, you must reconnect with your soul. Dive deep into your emotions, your desires, your fears, your patterns. Understand what energizes you and what exhausts you. Understand who brings peace and who brings chaos. Understand when your body whispers for rest, when your intuition warns you, and when your spirit demands change. So much of your unhappiness comes from ignoring yourself. You've learned to silence your needs to keep peace with others. But now, before 2026, you must learn to prioritize your inner experience above everything else. You owe yourself the kind of life that doesn't require escape. Internal alignment begins with self-honesty, and honesty is uncomfortable because it forces you to confront the truths you've been avoiding. You'll realize that some routines are numbing you, not nurturing you. You'll realize that some people are holding you back, not holding you up. You'll realize that some dreams you're chasing aren't truly yours. They were planted in you by society, by family, by comparison. But the beauty of honesty is that it liberates you. It gives you the clarity to redesign your life from a place of intention instead of obligation. Next comes emotional nourishment. Your inner world needs care, not suppression. Every day, you carry emotions you've never processed. Disappointments, fears, heartbreaks, insecurities, trauma. These emotions shape your decisions, your reactions, your relationships, your sense of self. And ignoring them doesn't make them disappear, it makes them louder in subtle ways. To build a life that feels good, you must create emotional space. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to grow without rushing. Emotional peace is not built overnight. It's built through patience, self-awareness, forgiveness, and boundaries. You also must redefine what success means to you. Society will always push you toward the shiny version of success: money, status, attention, validation. But none of that matters if you wake up dreading your life. Success should mean waking up with a calm heart. Success should mean having relationships that nourish your soul. Success should mean being able to rest without guilt. Success should mean living in alignment with your values, not someone else's checklist. Before 2026, create a definition of success that feels true to you. Strip it of external noise. Ask yourself, what actually makes me feel fulfilled? What makes me feel alive? What brings me meaning? Another core part of building an internally fulfilling life is simplifying your existence. Complexity is often a sign of imbalance. You don't need to do everything, be everything, or have everything. You don't need constant chaos to feel worthy. You don't need to fill every silence with noise or every moment with distraction. Slow down, create space, simplify your habits, your goals, your commitments, your environment. Simplicity isn't lack, it's clarity. And clarity brings peace. Protecting your energy is also essential. Internal peace cannot survive in environments full of conflict, negativity, and emotional instability. Pay attention to how you feel around people. Your nervous system knows the truth before your mind tries to rationalize it. If someone drains your energy every time you see them, that's not love, that's imbalance. If someone constantly demands your emotional labor but never gives support back, that's not connection, that's depletion. Before 2026, choose relationships that add to your life. Choose the ones that inspire, support, uplift, and encourage your growth. Your inner peace deserves companions who honor it. And perhaps the most transformative part of building a life that feels good internally is embracing solitude. You've been taught to fear being alone because society equates solitude with lack. But solitude is where your soul speaks. Solitude is where clarity grows. Solitude is where you meet yourself without filters. It's where you realize you don't need constant noise, constant attention, or constant validation. Being comfortable alone is the foundation of true inner strength. Before 2026, give yourself time alone, not out of loneliness, but out of intention. Grow roots within yourself instead of seeking stability outside of you. Finally, understand that an internally fulfilling life is not about perfection. It's about alignment. It's about waking up knowing you're living in a way that honors your spirit. It's about going to bed without regret. It's about creating a life where your soul feels safe. When you build from the inside out, everything shifts. Your decisions become clearer. Your relationships become healthier. Your mind becomes calmer. Your path becomes straighter. And your life begins to feel like yours again, not a performance, not a facade, not an image, but a genuine expression of who you are. So before 2026 arrives, choose a life rooted in authenticity, peace, alignment, and truth. Choose to stop performing. Choose to stop pretending. Choose to stop prioritizing external validation over internal fulfillment. Build a life that feels good on the inside, even if no one else understands it. You are the one living it, and you deserve a life that feels as good as it looks, or better. Master the art of consistency. Even when you're not motivated before 2026 arrives, you must understand a truth that many people spend their entire lives avoiding. Motivation is unreliable, inconsistent, and deeply emotional. But consistency is where transformation happens. Most people wait for motivation to strike before they take action. They wait to feel ready, to feel inspired, to feel energized. But the reality is, if you wait for motivation, you will spend your entire life waiting. Motivation is a spark, but a spark alone cannot sustain a fire. It fades quickly, it burns out fast. It comes and goes with your mood, your environment, your energy, your stress levels, and your confidence. But consistency, real consistency, is built on discipline, not emotion, on commitment, not convenience, on intention, not impulse. And if you want 2026 to be different from every year before it, you must learn the art of showing up even when you don't feel like it. Consistency is not about being perfect. It's about becoming dependable to yourself. It's about building a reputation with your own mind that says, I do what I say I will do. Most people are inconsistent not because they are incapable, but because they constantly break promises to themselves. Every time you say you'll start tomorrow and don't, you weaken your self-trust. Every time you set a goal and abandon it, you reinforce a belief that you can't rely on yourself. And once self-trust is broken, consistency becomes nearly impossible. That's why, before 2026, your focus must be on rebuilding that trust, slowly, intentionally, and consistently. Start with small commitments, not the impressive ones you announce to the world, but the quiet ones you honor in private. Wake up 20 minutes earlier, drink more water, spend 5 minutes journaling, read a page of something meaningful, walk for 10 minutes a day. These may seem insignificant, but they hold immense power. Small consistency compounds into massive change. And once your mind sees that you follow through on the little things, it becomes easier to follow through on the big ones. You become someone you can rely on. The biggest obstacle to consistency is emotion. You won't always feel like showing up. Some days you'll be tired. Some days you'll feel unmotivated. Some days you'll be overwhelmed. Some days you'll feel discouraged. But consistency requires emotional neutrality. You show up regardless of your mood. You show up regardless of how you slept, how you feel, or what happened yesterday. You show up because your goals are bigger than your temporary emotions. When you detach your actions from your feelings, your life becomes unstoppable. Your growth becomes predictable. Your progress becomes inevitable. Most people fail not because they don't know what to do, but because they do it only when it feels easy. But real change is built on the days that feel hard. The days when your mind says, not today. The days when you're sore, tired, unmotivated, stressed, or discouraged. Those days matter more than the good ones, because they shape your identity. Every time you push through resistance, you become stronger mentally. Every time you show up despite discomfort, you build resilience. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you rewire your self-image. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You start seeing yourself as someone who is consistent. Before 2026, you must also understand that consistency is not about speed. It's about direction. Slow progress is still progress. Small steps still move you forward. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. You just need to keep going. There will be times when your progress feels invisible. Times when you're working hard but seeing no results. Times when you wonder if it's even worth it. But consistency requires patience. Results always come, just not always immediately. Seeds don't sprout the moment you plant them, they grow in silence. And so will you. Another key to mastering consistency is removing distractions. You cannot be consistent in an environment built for chaos. You must simplify your life. Turn off notifications. Reduce mindless scrolling. Take breaks from people who drain you. Create routines that support your goals instead of sabotaging them. Your habits reflect your environment. If your space is chaotic, your mind will be too. If your circle is unmotivated, you will be too. If your environment is noisy, your focus will break. Before 2026, build a world that supports your consistency instead of fighting against it. You also need to learn the power of discipline. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. It is the ability to choose your long-term growth over your short-term feelings. It is choosing what your future self needs, not what your current self wants. Discipline is uncomfortable because it requires you to break patterns. But comfort never changed anyone. You cannot build your best life while staying addicted to ease. And you cannot become your highest self while relying on motivation alone. Discipline is the foundation of success. Discipline is the root of consistency. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and who you want to be. And finally, consistency requires grace. You will slip. You will fall. You will miss days. You will have setbacks. That doesn't mean you failed. Consistency is not about never breaking. It's about never stopping. It's about returning with intention. It's about continuing where you left off, instead of quitting altogether. Most people lose progress not because they missed one day, but because they let that one day turn into 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. Before 2026, give yourself grace when you fall, but discipline when you rise. Do not quit. Do not abandon what matters. Do not betray your future by giving up on yourself. This is the year you choose consistency over excuses. This is the year you show up for yourself, even when motivation disappears. This is the year you build habits that shape your identity, routines that strengthen your discipline, and a mindset that makes you unstoppable. By the time 2026 arrives, you will not only be stronger, you will be transformed. Not because you felt motivated, but because you were consistent. Because you kept going. Because you became someone you can trust. And once you master consistency, there is no goal, no dream, no life you cannot achieve. Protect your energy like it's your greatest currency. Before 2026 arrives, you must learn one of the most life-changing lessons you will ever master. Your energy is your greatest currency. Not your money, not your time, not your knowledge, your energy. Because your energy determines the quality of your thoughts, your confidence, your relationships, your boundaries, your decisions, your creativity, your peace, your productivity, your entire reality. And the painful truth is that you've been giving your energy away to the wrong people, the wrong environments, the wrong habits, and the wrong situations for far too long. You've been pouring into others while leaving yourself depleted. You've been carrying burdens that were never yours. You've been entertaining people who drain you, conversations that exhaust you, and distractions that steal your potential. Before 2026, you must reclaim your energy with unapologetic intention. Protecting your energy begins with understanding that not everyone deserves access to you. Some people only come with chaos. Some only come with complaints. Some only come with negativity. Others come with hidden envy, disguised intentions, or emotional instability they want you to fix for them. And you've allowed too many of these people to sit front row in your life. You've allowed their moods to dictate your day, their opinions to shape your self-worth, their inconsistency to disrupt your peace. But your future cannot be built in an environment where your nervous system is constantly overwhelmed. Protecting your energy means removing your emotional availability from those who do not value it. Before 2026, you must also understand that protecting your energy requires boundaries. And boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They filter out what doesn't align with your values, your growth, or your peace. Boundaries keep your energy clean. And yet, for so long, you have avoided setting boundaries because you were afraid of disappointing others, losing connections, or being seen as cold. But here's the truth you need to hear. The only people who get upset about your boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. The people who truly care about you will respect your limits. Those who resist them were never meant to stay in your life at the level they once held. Protecting your energy also means learning to say no without guilt. You don't need to justify your refusal. You don't need to explain why you're unavailable. You don't need to apologize for prioritizing your peace. No is not rude. No is not selfish. No is self-respect. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're saying no to your future. And every time you say no to something misaligned, you're saying yes to your growth. Let this be the year you stop overextending yourself just to keep the wrong people comfortable. Another part of protecting your energy is distancing yourself from environments that exhaust your spirit. This includes loud, toxic spaces, workplaces filled with drama, friend groups built on gossip, family dynamics that drain you, not because they are your responsibility, but because you've been trained to internalize everyone's emotional weight. You cannot heal in the same environment that is hurting you. You cannot grow in the same atmosphere that keeps you small. You must give yourself permission to outgrow places you've stayed in for too long. Your habits also play a massive role in your energetic health. Scrolling endlessly through social media, consuming negativity, comparing yourself to others, engaging in meaningless conversations, spending hours in mental fog. These habits drain you silently. They steal your focus, your clarity, your motivation. Before 2026, you must develop habits that protect your mind instead of polluting it. Replace scrolling with reading. Replace complaining with gratitude. Replace emotional reactivity with emotional regulation. Replace chaos with structure. Replace self-neglect with self-care. Protect your energy by redesigning your daily habits into ones that nourish your soul instead of draining it. And don't forget your internal dialogue. The way you talk to yourself is one of the biggest contributors to your energy levels. You cannot expect a fulfilling life while feeding your mind insecurity, fear, doubt, and self-criticism. Your words shape your internal environment, and your internal environment shapes your entire existence. Start speaking to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and compassion. You deserve to be on your own side. Protecting your energy also means releasing emotional anchors, people or situations you're still holding onto mentally or emotionally. You cannot carry resentment into 2026. You cannot carry heartbreak, betrayal, or disappointment as your identity. You cannot keep replaying past wounds and expecting a peaceful future. Emotional healing is energy protection. Forgiveness is energy protection. Releasing attachment is energy protection, not for others, for yourself, for your peace, for your evolution. And perhaps the most transformative part of protecting your energy is embracing solitude. Solitude is not loneliness, it's clarity. It's the space where you reconnect with your intuition, your goals, your desires, your emotional truth. It's where your soul resets. In a world that constantly demands your attention, solitude safeguards your energy. It realigns your focus. It brings peace to your spirit. Spend time alone with intention. Learn to enjoy your own presence. Because when you feel fulfilled within, no one can manipulate you with their absence. Before 2026, you must also learn to protect your energy from your own patterns: procrastination, overthinking, people-pleasing, perfectionism, overworking, emotional suppression. These patterns drain more energy than any person ever could. You cannot build a peaceful life with chaotic habits. Pay attention to what triggers your stress. Notice what drains your mental bandwidth. Become aware of what pulls you away from your best self. Awareness is the first step. Change is the next. Mastery is the goal. When you protect your energy, everything else in your life transforms. Your relationships become healthier. Your goals become clearer. Your days become calmer. Your decisions become wiser. Your confidence grows. Your intuition strengthens. And your life aligns with who you are at your core, not who others want you to be. By the time 2026 arrives, you deserve to enter it with clarity, peace, strength, and self-respect. You deserve a life where your energy is honored, your boundaries are respected, and your soul feels safe. Protect your energy with intention, with confidence, and with a deep understanding that your future depends on it. Because once you guard your energy, you protect your destiny. And once you protect your destiny, you become unstoppable.